Hello everybody. Thank you for viewing my channel, coming and viewing my channel. I hope everyone is having a blessed and highly favored day today. Today is Monday, June 10th. And I just wanted to come on here and just say some things. I know I've been away for a while. I think it's been almost a month since I made my last video, but I am here now. And hopefully I'll have some new material coming up. I will be making more videos, so you guys stay tuned. To everybody that subscribed, thank you so much for subscribing and hanging in there with me. I hope I continue to build my page, and you guys could just come see, my material and my content. And I hope you guys enjoy in the process. But that's something I want to talk about. And before I talk about anything, I just want to send a shout out to my nephew. He just graduated on Saturday. And T, I just wanted to tell you that I am so proud of you. I'm proud of your many accomplishments. You have sacrificed a whole lot. And I see that the man that you're becoming. I want to encourage you and to tell you to always do the right thing. Doesn't matter what the trend is. It doesn't matter what your friends are doing, or what people your age are doing at this point. You do what's best for you, and never forget where you came from. Don't forget the morals that was instilled in you. Don't forget to always stay helpful. Always keep that soft, compassionate heart, and just strive for the best. It's crazy. You're 18 years old and you've been through probably with half of, probably with probably been through more than what people ever experience in their lifetime. So you have a lot to be thankful for. And I'm proud of you. The sky is the limit. TT will always be there for you. And love you. All right, so what I really want to talk about is over the past week, everybody has been kind of talking about it, and it's still kind of like a hot topic. And although I'm kind of late to make a video about it, I'm sure it's still relevant. It's going to continue to be relevant. It's a relevant issue here. I'm talking about the 4-part series on Netflix, When They See Us. Girl, Ava DuVernay, I think that's her name. She's the producer and the director who made that 4-part series. Hats off to you. This woman is a great storyteller, a great filmmaker. She's made other movies and series on TV, and every show that I have seen that she's made or created has been stellar, excellent work. And this one thing I like about Ava is that she uses her gift to the world to show people the injustices of black people, the injustices of her people. And that is something that I value, and I'm sure a lot of other people value as well. The late John Singleton, he were one of the first ones to make stories like Boys in the Hood and Higher Learning, making racism and discrimination and systematic racism an issue in Hollywood. And that takes a lot of bravery and a lot of courage to do that. So hats off to you, ma'am, sister girl. Thank you so much, and continue to allow God to use you to bring these issues to the forefront, because they need to be heard. And I'm so glad that these young men, their voices and their stories are being heard. I'm going to be honest with you. I could not get through the first episode. When I saw, I was on Facebook, and a good friend of mine mentioned it, and I was like, When They See Us, and I started seeing it on Facebook, and then I saw it on Instagram, and then I saw that it was on Netflix. So I have a Netflix subscription, so I looked it up, and it's crazy because I can remember bits and pieces. I think it was back in 88 or 89 when the situation happened. I can remember bits and pieces of it. I was 11 years old at the time. I can remember Donald Trump putting an ad out um, about requesting the boys or demanding those boys to be executed. I didn't really look into it that much. Like I said, I was a kid. I was 11 years old. But I remember bits and pieces of it, and later on, um, to know that they were innocent the whole time. I learned like they were innocent the whole time, like later on in life, like several years later, that they were, all of the charges were dropped and they were exonerated and stuff. I learned that later. But at the time, I was 11 years old. So looking back on it and actually looking at the first episode, um, it was in your face, you know. It was bold, it was scary. Um, it was like I was there, but I couldn't do anything. I was, you know how we are. We talk to, we talk during the movie, and that's what I was doing. I was talking the whole time. Oh my God, where the parents at? I was just one of the things I during the first episode I was trying to figure out was why they treated those poor kids. They beat those kids up in an interrogation room, and their parents would not even know where to be found. They weren't nowhere. I think one of the parents left. I think that was whose parent that was. Was it Kevin Richardson? But his mother was sick, and they had his mom just waiting there, I think, for hours and hours and hours. Wasn't giving her any updates about like how her son was or the welfare of her son. Um, but the story goes on. Like I said, it's a four-part series, and if you have not seen it, I encourage you. I don't care who you are, young or old, watch this series. Please watch it. It brings a lot of things to light about racism and discrimination, and how, to put it, I mean, in layman terms, how fucked up the justice system is. You have people who are judges, prosecutors, district attorneys who are racist, and they put five innocent young black men, well, four black men and one Hispanic young man in prison, in jail. Corey Wise, who was the oldest, went to Rikers, Attica, which are maximum security prisons. He was just 16 years old, and he was tried, and he went to a jail for adults, while the others went to juvie. That was hard too. I mean, they all went through a lot of stuff, but my heart goes out to all of them. But Corey, brother, and it really makes me emotional when I think about him. Whoever, I don't know the brother's name who played Corey Wise, but this dude deserved an Oscar. He deserved an Emmy and an Oscar for Best Actor, because he played, when I tell you, he embodied that character. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry, excuse me. But that, it was like he was called to play that role. It was like that was his mission in life, or his purpose at the present moment, to play that role. He embodied that role so much. And to see how, even when he had the opportunity to go to the parole board 3 times, and they was going to let him go if he was to admit to the crimes, and he refused. The man, he got beat up. I don't know if he got raped or anything like that. I don't know. But I know he got severely beat up several times. He got jumped on. He had to learn pretty much the way of the prison system. He had to just find his way. And he went through all that and still was like, no, I did not do this. And I'm going to stick by it. I did not do this. And I think he served his maximum time. I think he was in prison for 13 years. Imagine being in jail. I'm sorry, I'm turning off my space heater. It got hot under there. Imagine being in jail for 13 years for something you did not, you didn't even know what was going on. Those kids were in the park, but for something totally different. They had no idea this woman was being raped. And my heart goes out to the victim. Her name is Teresa. I think Teresa Miele. And my heart goes out to her. No woman deserves to be violated. No woman. And she was just, from what the story portrayed, she was, I think, a stockbroker or a lawyer or something like that. She had a good job. And she lived in New York, and she was just on a jog. She was jogging in Central Park at night, and that's when that's when the incident happened, and she, pretty much almost lost her life. My heart really goes out to her. But the fact that these boys were wrongfully accused, served time, and they get to tell their story, I think, for one, is a part of their healing. I think they went through a lot of trauma, a lot of PTSD, just horrific things that happened to them. And I think them telling their story now, a movie being made or created about them, is going to help heal them. It's going to help them with rehabilitation and just restoration of their of all of the emotional distress and mental distress that they had to go through enduring that, knowing that they did not do these crimes, knowing that they were coerced, like they were in interrogation, coerced, that like those detectives, whoever those detectives were, they put their hands on those kids, that told them to lie. They gave them a false promise that if you said this, you will go home, you won't go to jail. They need to be in prison. They need to be in prison because they committed, for what I know, that's an obstruction of justice. They need to be put in prison, and they need to serve time for that. Many of them, and the crazy part about it is, the people who were involved, the district attorney, Linda Fairstein, the lead prosecutor, Elizabeth Lederer, they all went on and became very successful. Linda Fairstein has written several books, and has gotten paid. Okay, and has all these years have passed by. I just want to figure out, how do you sleep at night? Like, how can you sleep at night knowing that you put 5 innocent young men, that you have messed up these 5 innocent young men's lives, and you think justice was done, justice was served? It just shows how the movie, it just shows how, vile and nasty and scummy how our justice system is, and how it has absolutely no mercy towards black people or brown people. This is a prime example of it. And I honestly believe, I know it's been, how, 89, like 30, 89, 99, to like 30 years. It's been 30 years since this incident has happened. And I'm sure a lot of people, those people involved or what have you, some of those probably, I don't know, they could be anywhere. Those prosecutors, whoever was involved in getting these guys or getting these 5 boys in jail, they could be anywhere right now, but they need to pay for what they've done. They need to pay. Justice needs to be served. They need to pay for what they've done. Even if they're dead, exhume the bodies and let them go to jail. Okay? Well, never mind. I take that back because I do believe in the afterlife, and they're getting, if they're dead, if they died within those 30 years, I'm sure in the afterlife they're getting what they deserve in the afterlife. So I'm going to retract that statement. Keep them right in the ground. Keep them right in the ground. But Linda Fairstein, I know she's lost a lot of deals with publishers, a lot of chairs. She was a chairwoman or something, and she lost that title, that position. But I don't think that's severe. I don't think she needs to. She needs to go to jail. She needs to get the most extensive punishment available. Her and everybody. I don't hear a lot of people talking about Elizabeth, the lead prosecutor. You know, the one with the fucked up perm. Yeah, she needs to go to jail too. She needs to serve time as well. Um, Knowing that she presented or she prosecuted these boys, knowing that there was no evidence, y'all. The semen that was on the scene did not match any of the boys' DNA. They were at different areas of the park. Each of them had like different stories. These boys were pretty much coerced into admitting they did it, and they had anything to do what was going on, or what happened to that young lady, and they went to jail for nothing. And it's crazy because I mean it's crazy because if you think about it, there was a case back in 2016. Now I'm turning back on the space heater because I got cold again. Hold on. Okay, so Brock Turner, this white boy at Stanford, raped a woman that was unconscious, laying on the side of a dumpster, I think. And he raped her, and he only got 6 months, and he's out. Like, he's gone. Like, he's not even in prison anymore. He's got 6 months, and I don't know. We got probation. I don't know how long the probation period is, but he got 6 months, and he actually raped he raped that woman, and he got 6 months. And you have these black and brown boys that served 6, 7 years, and 13 years in jail for something they did not even do, that they were completely innocent of. They weren't at all attached or aware or associated with the incident at all, under no circumstances, and they served time. It's just like I said, it shows that the justice and the criminal system is not hard on those who been accused of something that are white, in comparison to those who are not white, black or Hispanic. They're more, they have harsher crimes. I mean, they have harsher punishment and harsher consequences. And even if you look at it now in this day and time, you can see that the majority of inmates that are in prison are black and Hispanic. That's not a coincidence. That is that is by design. That is not a coincidence, people. And this film shows just a very grimy glimpse of how fucked up this justice system really is. And I encourage, like I said, I encourage everybody to look at it, to view it. I pray for those men: Corey Wise, Antron McCray, Kevin Richardson, Raymond Santana, and Yusef Salam. More power to you guys. I pray that God opens up a door for you guys, that you guys will be able to continue to be wealthy, continue to be an inspiration to a lot of people, to never give up, to always stand up for what you believe in, to never to be a leader at all times. If you know you innocent, fight for your innocence. You guys are a outstanding example of that. And I hope and I pray that you guys continue to be blessed, and continue to be healed for years to come. And I hope that the justice system does a lot of revamping, actually just to start from scratch, and give people the time they deserve, no matter if you're black or white, and to look at the evidence. If it doesn't match, if it doesn't fit, if it doesn't make sense, then there is a chance for reasonable doubt. There's a high possibility for it. And if they're innocent, then they need to, that needs to be out in the forefront before anything else. So I just hope and I pray that they come out all right. It's a good thing that all 5 of these guys are still alive, so they can see the fruit of their labor. And what they're going through, the world can know about it, and people will be inspired by their story and by their testimony, because it is indeed a testimony that they had to endure so much pain, so much hurt. You know, I mean, going to jail is not a walk in the park. It's not like, you know, it's not like skipping through the tulips. From what I heard some really horrifying stories, you know, about people who experienced being in jail. I have relatives and loved ones who've been incarcerated, and they could tell you it's not a joke. It's not something to brag about, and it's not a place that you want to be, especially if you didn't do anything to be there in the first place. So my support, my love, prayers, thoughts, all go out to those 5 gentlemen. Continue to share your story. Corey Wise, God bless you. God bless you, man. God bless you. And I just hope that people will really see that racism does exist. It's not, although we in 2019, this country was built on hate. It was built on racism. It was built on discrimination. It was built on the backs of Africans who were kidnapped from their country and was brought somewhere to do hard labor for free, and were tortured. They went through a lot of suffering. And I'm talking about my people, my ancestors, who came to this country against their will. So they weren't immigrants. Immigrants are people who actually came from other countries and came here for a better life, to seek to seek a better life, and to enjoy more freedom. But we weren't free. Blacks weren't free. And although we've come somewhat a long way with the help of civil rights and different organizations, different people that God placed in position to speak for us, the impoverished, the oppressed, we still, in some way, aren't free. And you have a lot of people who are in jail right now, serving time for crimes they did not commit. They are serving time for offenses that they received harsher punishings for light offenses. And it's not right. It's not fair. And their voices need to be heard too. These young 5 men unfortunately, they're not the only ones who are in jail and had to suffer years and years and years of punishment and torture, and being away from their family and being away from the world, and losing their freedom. There's a lot others in jail that are experiencing the exact same thing that these guys experience. So America needs to get a lot of shit together. Um, we have a man in office right now who pretty much put an ad out in the paper back then when the incident happened, ordering these guys to be executed. He needs, as a president, as a leader, the first thing he needs to do is apologize publicly to those men. They're men now. They're grown men now. And he needs to apologize. Hey, I was wrong. And even though, I believe he's the worst president in modern day time, since I've been alive. I mean, he's the worst president that I've ever seen in office. And a lot of other people feel that way. And if you don't feel that way, then I don't know what to tell you. I mean, everyone is entitled to their own opinion. It is what it is. But he needs to admit that he messed up. And what he needs to do, if I was him, this is what I would do. I would, at one of my speeches or, one of my outings or what have you, I would put something in my speech apologizing to the Central Park Five, those 5 men. And I would personally invite them to the White House. And I would sit down and I would talk to them about prison reform, about the justice system, how it needs to be totally changed. It needs a total 180-degree fix. I would talk to them. I would have them share their stories, and to just say, look, man, I was wrong. I was wrong. What I did was stupid, and I need to come clean. I'm very sorry. But a man as egotistical and as narcissistic and as mentally ill as Donald Trump, to be honest with you, we probably won't ever hear an apology. Even on his deathbed, he won't ever apologize. And even with Linda Farstein, the movie, when the guy actually came, the guy who actually did the rape, who actually did the crime, actually came and admitted to it, she still was like, I don't believe that. Those 5 boys was associated with it. They had something to do with it. It was all to pretty much not admit that she fucked up. She could not take the fact that she fucked up. So she was like, I'm not going to. No, they were involved some kind of way. There's no way I could be wrong about this. And it has a lot to do with ego. It has a lot to do with righting your wrong, because if you admit that if you say you're sorry, then you're admitting, you're saying that you're guilty. And a lot of people don't have the heart to do that. A lot of people these days, they will rather go through inner turmoil with their conscience, because everybody has a conscience. And I know there are times that woman and whoever was involved with incarcerating those guys and have them serve such long, horrible sentences for nothing, for absolutely nothing. I know they, somewhere or some way, they had to sit there and like, what the fuck am I doing? I put these boys in jail for nothing. Like, oh my God, what can I do? I mean, everyone has a conscience. So I believe they probably had one of those moments. But unlike people who actually are good people, who have a heart and compassion and love for one another, they would rather just deal with the inner turmoil within themselves and just kind of like, whatever, it's not me. I did my job. I did what I had to do. I stand proud and strong and I'm strong in my conviction about what I did, which is crazy. But like I said, karma will have its place. The universe is very sure and will do its justice. It will do its just work on the people involved in persecuting and putting these guys in jail for a crime they did not commit. So, yeah, I think that was pretty much all I wanted to share with you guys. Like I said, America, we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do. And I hope that we begin to really realize the state that we're in, and that we need to really come together and stand up against certain injustices, all injustices that exist in this country. One thing that is great about America is that we all come from different backgrounds, different races, different beliefs. But if we all come together against wrong and against injustice, we can prevail. We will prevail. But we have to come together first. All right? So, yeah, that's my little rant, child. If you like the content, please comment, subscribe, give me your feedback. I definitely want to hear it. And hopefully I will be making better content. I haven't gotten a vlogging camera as of yet. It's too expensive for my budget right now. So hopefully I'll be getting that soon. But my Note 8 is working just fine. Hopefully nothing goes wrong with this phone, or else I'll be SOL and probably won't be making videos until I get a new phone. But anyways, I hope you guys stay blessed and highly favored. And like I said, always stand up for right. Even if you have to, even if they come at you and tell you you'll suffer the consequences, or even be thrown in jail, or, just have, just probably be mistreated or be looked at differently. Stand up for what's right. Always. All right, people. That's all I have to say. All right. Y'all be blessed. And like I said, continue to have a blessed and highly favored day. I'm out. Peace.